But due to the power of the word, due to the word renewing my mind and healing my mind, I now can see people as people and not suspects. I now have discernment and not suspicion. A word from God would have to stand in a long line behind my doubt and behind my pride and behind my entitlement. And this is why in my body I procrastinate. See, because when your mind is wounded, your soul stays suspicious. He doesn't just want to heal your mind so you can handle your trauma. He wants to heal your mind so that you can handle his joy. Let's go ahead and read this particular verse about the faithfulness of God and how he heard us that we needed a redeemer. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 12, it says, "For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers." Depending on your translation, it says he is attentive to our cry. There is a specific attribute, a specific trait quality, if you will. And the reason I have to emphasize specific is because when you're talking about the I am that I am, you really can't compact or compartmentalize who he is to an is, because he just is. Peradventure, if I were to tour around the auditorium on today and select 4 random people and ask you, would you please tell me, give me a description or a definition of who God is to you, I believe all 4 of them would have a different answer. One person would say, if you were to ask me, I were to say, he's my healer. But then the person on the right would say, if he's my way maker. And then the person on the right would say that he's an all-sufficient savior. But then the person on behind them would say, hold on, wait a minute, let me put my 2 cents in it. If you were to ask me to describe who my God is, I would say that he's a mind regulator. Because the way my mind used to be, maybe it's just me. The way my mind used to be, my mind was so crowded that a word from God would have to stand in a long line behind my doubt and behind my pride and behind my entitlement. And this is why in my body I procrastinate. But due to the power of the word, due to the word renewing my mind and healing my mind, I now can see people as people and not suspects. I now have discernment and not suspicion. See, because when your mind is wounded, your soul stays suspicious. What does this mean? What's going to happen? What's the setup? What's the trap? See, this is something that I've learned personally in my own life. God doesn't just want to heal our minds so that you can handle your pain. He doesn't just want to heal your mind so you can handle your trauma. He wants to heal your mind so that you can handle his joy, so that you can handle his grace, so that you can handle his goodness without feeling there's a catch, without feeling that something is going to happen. There's no strings attached to this. This is legitimately what the favor of God feels like. This is legitimately what the peace of God feels like. There are no strings attached to this. Because our God, he's a person that if you talk about him, you're describing him. And if you're describing him, you're also describing what he does. He's a verb and an adjective all at the same time. Because you can't compact or compartmentalize who he is to an is. He just is. This is why when the Jews were having this disagreement with Jesus and they were asking him, who do you think you are? You're not even older than 50 years old, but you've seen our father Abraham. And then Jesus solidifies his pre-existence and his deity by telling them in John chapter 8, verse 58, before Abraham was, I am. See, I think sometimes we forget that the I am that I am is the God of before too. We usually come to him after we make a mess of our life. We usually come to him after, but I think we forget that he's the God of before. Can I keep going? Before you got the bad news, he is I am that I am. Before you got the negative doctor's report, he is I am that I am. Before you experience the loss, the disappointment, he is the I am that I am. And I know somebody may be asking, okay, he is what? trying to compact who he is to who he is. He's the I am that I am. Simply put, I am whatever you need me to be in whatever situation you face. But remember, I am before. So I am a healer before you got the diagnosis. I am a friend that sticks closer than a brother before they ever betrayed you, before they ever walked out on you, before you ever experienced loss. I am a waymaker before you ever experienced feeling trapped. See, you'll never really know him as Jehovah Shalom, the God of your peace, until you are placed in a situation where chaos is all around you, but you still have the peace of God within you. You'll never really know him as El Rohi, the God who sees, until you find yourself placed in a situation where you think everybody's forgotten about you, you feel nobody sees you, but then the Lord reminds you, I see you. You'll never really know him as Jehovah Jireh, your provider, until you find yourself in a situation where you can't provide for yourself, but then the Lord comes through clutch. I'm not preaching to people who want the ease. I'm preaching to people who are faithful even when it gets hard. You'll never really know him as the God who can shut the mouth of the lion until he allows you to spend the night with beasts. It's the experiences that we have with God that shows us I am this and I am that all at the same time. There is a specific attribute, quality, trait about our God that I want to bring to your attention, and that is our God is a God who hears us. Rather, a week later, a day later, a month later, 2 years later, I heard you when you prayed that back in 2019. I heard you when you prayed that back in 2020. It's not that I didn't hear you. I was preparing you and preparing it. But I need you to know, my daughter, I heard you. My son, I hear you. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers. He hears me. So, not only, like 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 9 tells us, the eyes of the Lord go to and fro throughout the whole earth, looking for somebody he can show himself strong through, whose heart is loyal to him. Not only is he doing that, but he also hears me. Not only, like Hebrews chapter 4, verses 15 and 16 inform us that we have a high priest who can be touched with the feelings of our infirmities. Not only that, church family, but our God, y'all talk to me, hears me.